Rick here.
Brett Caldwell. What's
You
going
know,
on, my man?
we always listen to pump up music, and one of the words in the song was lemonade. How can you say the word lemonade and not have a smile on your face?
Lemonade. Lemonade.
Lemonade.
It's not lima won't. It's
Yeah, there you go.
lemonade,
Lemonade. All
which
right.
sounds
So,
like made. You know what's funny
Mojo
too?
Monday,
It-
my favorite time of the week. And, when we were talking about what we wanted to talk about today, I remembered there was this tool you had in your Stop Settling book that you use, and I thought it was a awesome topic for us to run through today. And this
Absolutely.
tool is called the Do You Want to Live a Remarkable Life? The 135 inhibitors. Why don't you
Yeah.
set us up and frame it for us?
Well, even before I do that, I want to raise an interesting point. Wherever you are is not where you're going to end up. And so
Yeah.
part of the concept today is to go, can you describe a remarkable life? And then decide what's inhibiting that experience. Where are you coming up short and why? So, and I think back to the song, our walk up song is Ty Verde's, everything's A-OK. And I saw that guy perform for the very first time in his career. Now, I
His
don't know how he
career.
pulled it. Career, like I'm sure he's done like some micro club somewhere or in his yard or
Oh yeah.
living room. But literally, I saw him at Lollapalooza 5 6 years ago, 5 years ago, and I knew this cat was going to be big. I knew that song at least was going to be big. I'm like, it has an undeniable
Awesome.
energy, and I'm like, when I look at you or when you look in the mirror, do you have that same level of like undeniable? It's not if, it's when. Because the surprising part was he showed up, and he was, by the way, middle of the day. It wasn't like he got a headlining slot. But to play Lollapalooza, there were 100 bands probably over 4 days, and still an incredibly impressive thing to do. And you're new in your career. But he acknowledged at the end, he goes, I can't believe I'm here. Like, I put in all this work nobody knows about, and we've written all these cool songs. And here I am. This is my first real concert. And I'm like, there's no way. But you know what? Everyone has their first big real concert. And so,
Yeah.
but I bet he visualized it long before that happened, even though he couldn't believe it. I bet he believed it. You don't
Yeah.
just not believe things and then they happen. That's not how life is.
Not at all. And I mean, we've talked about in previous episodes about confidence in the game face and just walking out on stage. And can you imagine walking out on stage at Lollapalooza with 100,000 people sitting there going, "Hey, this is the first time I've ever played a concert."
At least the real one. There were probably 20 or 30,000. I don't even know. It was a massive
Yeah.
crowd. But, it reminds me also, like, what's your walk up song? What is it that defines you? What gives you that extra something to go, I'm ready to take the tiger by the tail, baby. Let's go do it. Time to dance. And so
Love
that's
it.
what today is. How do you grab the tiger by the tail and re-engage the dance that you want, the dance you deserve, and the outcome that's coming, not because it's here today, but because you know in your head and heart, because you've got vision and you do the work.
Yeah.
And
Do
so
you think most people live a remarkable life?
I would guess, if how about this? If you polled 100 people and said, is your
Yeah.
life remarkable? I mean, 50-50 would probably be, what
No,
percentage are just victims? And, it is what it is. I got a job. I guess I should be grateful, kind of
yeah.
that attitude.
I'm not living my best life.
Yeah.
I mean, we all have problems. That doesn't mean you can't live a remarkable life problem free. I don't think you could live a remarkable life problem free because then you wouldn't be doing anything great, right?
Right.
But I think remarkable life is definitely a perspective and a pursuit.
And it's personal. You
Yeah.
describe and define it. But
Yeah.
the thing is, if you're an achiever, which I would speculate anybody listening to Mojo Monday is an achiever,
Of course.
you probably don't settle. I mean, you probably, even though, it's real easy to get caught up in your own news clippings on the positive side and think you're something, but it's also easy to fall prey to that whole judging your insides by other people's outsides and condemning yourself at the same time. So the cool thing I believe is that if you can define remarkable and then label your day planner or label your activity that correlates, it's undeniable because it's your vision, your future, your milestones, your bucket list. How many? So one question might be, if you're having a remarkable life, what's your bucket list look like? That's the list of
Yeah.
things that, oh my, I can't believe I get to do this, but you do, like Ty Verde's playing his first concert at Lollapalooza, which is pretty hard. It's kind of like winning the lottery, but he did the work and he showed
Yeah.
up and he submitted his name. At some point, somebody said, hey, this guy should be on stage. And so
Yeah.
there's maybe a small piece of this, or who are your advocates and your cheerleaders to help see things in yourself you may not see yet. And it could be a coach.
100%.
And
And you
then
have to be
who's going to
open, right?
support you?
You have to be open to it being remarkable. And you never know what's going to, I'm just sitting there thinking like, we had a dinner the other night and we were sat at a table with six other people, three other couples. And the guy sitting next to me said, I put my feet on all seven continents. And I looked at him, I said, you've been to Antarctica? And he said, I sure have. I said, well, tell me about that. I said, did you just fly down there to stand on the continent and get back on the plane real quick? He said, no, we took a boat. And in
Huh.
my head, I'm thinking, okay, that's a little crazy. He said, no, there's boats you take from Argentina that go to Antarctica for the day. And then you get back on the boat and come home. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's remarkable. Maybe that's something I should do. But I don't want to get too far off subject here, but you have to be open to living a remarkable life. And then you have to decide you want to live a remarkable life, right?
Yeah.
And I think this tool, it's your tool, so I don't want to speak for your tool, but I think this tool is a process of helping plan to live a remarkable life, right?
Yeah. And it's, by the way, it transcends age, gender, socioeconomic. I mean, this is your story. I used it with some teens not long ago at a teen retreat, and it can also be, you can craft it for 1 month, 1 year, 10 years, 100. What does remarkable look like? Legacy and
Sure.
eulogy. So you can carry this as far as you want. One thing's for sure, that if you don't have a clear picture of where you're going, you're not going to get there, or where you get to won't be where you really thought you were, because the
100%.
organic flow, it's like, if you don't dictate your schedule and day, someone else will, and their interests aren't likely to be aligned with yours. So,
So I'll pull the tool up real quick, but I don't want to
excuse
leave it
me.
up forever. I want you to tell us more the why behind it all, right?
Yeah, and hey, listen, and this was actually from Bob Kalinsky, and there's a few people that influenced where this showed up. One of my mentors was Bob, and he used it at a leadership academy, and I basically use it, and I changed it slightly, but not much. So at the end of the day, my favorite tools are simple. And this, the starting place, like I said, with the teen retreat, I said, describe a remarkable life, because they're young and things are changing and moving so fast. I thought 1 year would be a perfect, landing space for a 16-year-old or 18-year-old. They were 15 to 20 years old.
Yeah.
Describe remarkable in a year. And then I said, can you put it into words? Because you have to know what you're chasing. And you also want to plug positive milestones and mile markers into your head, not negative, because your subconscious brain will seek out evidence to support the things that you say and believe about yourself and where you're going. So plant positive seeds. So describe it. If you can't describe it,
Okay.
it's going to get real hard. And then typically inside of any real remarkable goal, there's probably some milestones. And in some cases, it may be one, it may be two, maybe three, maybe four. And so, what are the milestones that if you achieve inside of a year or in five, and I like right now, short term, sprint right now, given where we are in the economy and some uncertainty, would probably be smart. But list a milestone. I want to travel to the seven continents. That might not be in a year, but that might be the longer term. Or pick one place, Australia. And then what are the reasons you're not going? Because the odds are, when you pick a milestone that is not like some new revelation, Brett, it's probably been in your head and heart for a while. And you
Sure.
keep punting it down the road. Yeah, one day, someday, one day, someday. And I recently read a book called Die with Zero.
Yeah.
And
So for
it's not,
instance, if I said I want to travel to Australia, I could say too expensive. I don't have enough time on my schedule.
yeah,
Too much planning. All the things, the almost the limiting beliefs or the
yeah,
things that are the
I wouldn't know where to
roadblocks in
go.
my head, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't know where to go. I don't have my passport updated. You could,
Yeah.
whatever those inhibitors are. The truth is, if you sandbag on it long enough and you don't attack the inhibitor with a solution, you're going to wake up a year from now and not be in a position to win. And it's not going to be an easy tip of the domino that then releases the next big opportunity. So yeah, those are 5 good examples. And the solution might be go down to the passport office and renew my passport, on Tuesday. Very specific in your day planner.
Yeah.
I don't have the money.
Save money every month.
Automatically pull 10% out of every closing or every paycheck, put it towards, a budget for Australia. A third one might be, I don't know where to go. And so maybe it's do some research or find a travel agent or an expert on Australian travel, and then figure out where you want to go and how many days in each stop, and start to mind map how it'll look and then ultimately how it'll feel, because that'll be fuel. So if you don't know where to go, the solution is a who, not a what.
Yeah.
Or it could be the what might be research on the internet as well, because there's a lot of
Yeah.
information.
So
So there you
it's
go. There's a good
basically
example.
describe a remarkable life, and then break it down into 3 milestones that are really, really crucial, and then get honest with yourself, right? What's in the way of that happening, and what's the solution to make that happen?
And then add one more layer. Who needs to be on board with this? That whose rally cry really inspires me to do something. And that
Yeah.
could be, if it's a work related milestone, maybe there's team members around you or a coach, consultant, or someone in the office that's a good accountability partner. If it's personal, it could be a spouse, it could be a close friend, it could be someone that you'd enjoy that experience with, that if you co-conspired, you'd end up with something greater a lot sooner.
Love it. Love it. Well, Rick, I think there's some really uh, amazing tools and secrets inside of your book, Stop Settling. And
Thank you.
I didn't intend for this to be a infomercial on your book, but maybe it is, right? Like, your book is just a collection of some really awesome things you've learned over the years, put into a literary form. And this is just one of those things, right? Like, it's how to live a regret-free life. And
Yeah.
or AKA how to live a remarkable life, right?
That's right. Yeah, yeah. And my goal is to deliver an operations manual for awesome. And you apply the formula to whatever it is you're after and chasing. And again, if you've got a plan, you've got vision, and you do the work, and you replicate behavior that creates success, you're going to have successful outcomes. And
That's
so it's
awesome.
not complicated. Keep it simple and make it a daily endeavor.
So if you and I wake up one day and there's thousands and thousands of people live a remarkable life, what would that mean to you?
I mean, if I contributed 1%, I would feel incredibly fulfilled, man. That's a legacy, to be proud of, and
Yeah,
something that I would, hopefully those words show up in a eulogy one day when I'm done and have, played my part.
I love it.
Yeah,
To
man.
me, that's why we do what we do, right? That's why we do
Yeah.
Mojo Monday.
Well, and that's why you do what you do. So take a deep breath and honor your greatness, and then realize, leveling up or next level, connection and influence really is just one conversation away. So make that part of your
And
daily
one
pursuit.
conversation at a time.
One at a time. Yeah, quality matters. Cool, my
Yeah.
man.
Well, our energy went down, but we're going to bring it back up because today's Mojo Monday and we love you guys.
We do. Make it big. I'm gonna start singing. You better
Good
start playing.
night. Where's my lemonade?
Every day. Say okay. There's a reason I don't sing in my band, my man. All right. Be good, guys. We love you.